Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Just gonna give everybody a minute or so to get connected here to the webinar, and then we will get started. Just while we're getting started, just a reminder: this is being recorded. If you would not like to be on a recording, please you may opt out now and come back and watch the recording later, or don't participate in the chat. I do mention names in the chat and things like that. So if you'd like to remain anonymous, please refrain from participating in that part of it. Otherwise, we're glad to have you here. One of my really long-time, awesome, good friends is here today, Mr. Leandro Mota from Brazil. He's one of my absolute favorite tech support people. He manages all of the support for BNI Brazil, and he is here today learning stuff. My goodness, thank you for being here, Leandro. It's an honor to have you on this webinar. We've got an amazing group of people here today. We've got, let's see, just naming a couple of people. We've got Mark Silverman, one of my great friends from New York City is here. Catherine Saggers from the UK. Who else we got? Dr. Priya here. We've got Lars Christensen from Germany. Let's see, who else? By the way, last week, just as a means of letting you guys know, we had 600 people live, and we also had how many was it? It was 26 different uh, countries represented. So I was absolutely amazed by that. Even some countries where it is really late at night, 11 o'clock at night, midnight, 10 o'clock at night. So thank you guys so much for being here. Another famous Wisconsinite here, Mark Hackbarth. Thank you so much for being here, Mark. We've got Musa from Dubai. We've got Anne from Stockholm. You know, Jennifer from Malaysia. We've got Sherry from Bangor, Maine. Fran from Colorado. Just so many people here today. Katerina from Greece. Thank you guys so much for being here. So why don't we, it's 2 minutes past the hour. Why don't we go ahead and get started, or 32 minutes past the hour in some places. But let's go ahead and get started. Again, reminder, this is being recorded. So with that, welcome everybody. We are going to be covering lots and lots of things over the course of these tech talks, lots of different platforms to talk about. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jeremy Walsh, and I am the Director of Support for all of these online platforms. Myself and my team help to cover all of the questions asked about it. I have been involved with BNI for a very long time. I'm in my 24th year of service to BNI. Started out as just a member in the Wakefield chapter, where I am still a member today. I've been on the leadership team countless times. I've been a director, consultant, and area director, and now work with headquarters to help to share the knowledge of these online platforms. This is the amazing team that supports all of these systems. Jackie from Scotland, myself in Rhode Island. We've got Riaz in Malaysia. Mani is in India. Samantha is in Germany. Jessica in Massachusetts, and Monique in Connecticut. Between us all, we have close to 100 years of BNI experience that we love to share with all of you. About 350,000 members globally that we support, 75 countries, 25 languages, 24 hours a day, 6 days a week. We've answered 601,000 support tickets with an average response time of 20 minutes. So if you need any help, feel free to email us, tickets@bniconnect.com. You guys will get to know these people over the course of the next several weeks, the BNI Burr chapter. We have our core values, givers gain, building relationships, lifelong learning, traditions and innovation, positive attitude, accountability, and recognition. And my favorites, of course, are going to be, you guessed it, traditions and innovation and positive attitude, my absolute favorite core values of all time. I believe that those are great core values for life as well. So with that, we have just a couple of housekeeping things if you need them. You only have to register once, and you can come to as many of these as you want. No big deal if you miss a week. If you come to a week, recommend them to your friends, whatever you would like. We'd love to have you here. Tons of different topics every week at 10 a.m. About 30 minutes, I'll go into topics and then I'll open it up for questions. We do record these webinars and they will be uploaded to BNI Academy. Please use the chat bar for networking. The chat bar moves really fast. I can't keep up with it during these sessions. If you have an actual question that you'd like me to answer, please put that into the Q&A bar. I will not be reading questions off of the chat bar. All right, so with that, here's just some of the topics that we're going to talk about over the course of the next several weeks. I'm not going to be doing them in order. I will be jumping around a lot. For example, next week, I'll probably dive into BNI Academy since it'll be just released, and then come back to BNI Connect maybe the week after. So it's going to be a surprise every week what we talk about. But here's some topics that are on my list. If you have something you'd like to hear about, please shoot me a message and I will be happy to get it on the list. And one more reminder, we are recording this webinar. All right, so with that, quiz, you guys ready? My favorite part of the show. So going to ask you guys a couple of questions. You can put the answers into the chat window, and let's see what we got here for today's questions. We've got, which part of your bio shows up on the chapter website? So which part of your bio, there's a specific section of the bio that shows up on the chapter website. I mean, yes, your photo, yes, your profile, things like that, but there's a specific part of the bio. It's not the gains. The gains shows up inside BNI. Which one shows up on the public chapter website? I don't see it yet. I don't see an answer yet. Kristen Gear from Arizona is the winner. She got the first answer to that one. The TOPS profile, that is correct. The TOPS, which is, your top referral, top category. The TOPS profile is what shows up on the public website. I'm glad I stumped people today. You guys might learn something new today then. All right, so with that, I have a question for you. Can you opt out of being shown publicly on the websites? Can you opt out of being now? There are some legitimate reasons to do so. I would not opt out because I think it's some great publicity. But yes, if you choose so, you can completely hide your profile from the public website. So there's lots, as I said, there's lots of reasons to do this. Maybe you're getting spammed. Maybe somebody's picked up on that profile. Maybe you're have some legal challenges and you'd like to be out of the profile. So whatever the reason is, maybe you have some compliance issues with your home office. Right? It happens a lot with financial advisors. So with that, yes, you can opt out. One more true false question for you. BNI members can easily share their profile by V-card or QR code. Right? Absolutely. Good. I see lots of yeses and trues. I don't see any falses or no's. So you guys got it. So, all right, let's get into it today then. We're going to talk today really about credibility through visibility because that's what this is all about. So it's all about, making sure that we can increase our credibility with other people out there, both the people that we're going to be seeing in BNI, but also to the general public, because we all know what VCP stands for. Everybody that's taken the Member Success Program probably knows what this is. If not, go listen to one of Dr. Meisner's podcasts on this. But anybody want to tell me what VCP, what does V stand for? Right? What does V stand for? Visibility. What does C stand for? Credibility. And what does P stand for? Profitability. Absolutely. You guys got it. Visibility, credibility, and profitability, because you need all those things, right? First, in order to make money in this networking thing, you need to be visible, right? If people don't know you exist, they're not going to give you any referrals, right? That's just plain as day. If they can't see you, they're not going to give you any referrals, right? But you need to have more than just visibility, right? You have to be credible as well, because that's what helps to, give people the confidence in order to give you those referrals. So you need to be visible, credible, and that is builds into a profitable relationship, right? So VCP is really how you look at every relationship. You need to be visible with them, you need to be credible with them, and that will lead to a profitable relationship with them. And when you look at this through the eyes of BNI Connect, people are looking to pass business to other BNI members, just in your chapter, of course, but also cross chapter and even across the world, right? BNI is a network of 350,000 members all over the world. Now, not everybody has a global business. Not everybody has a family that might be in another state or in another region or in another country, but there's lots of us that do. There's lots of us that may travel to another country for a conference or a convention, and maybe we want to jump in and visit a BNI chapter or something like that. But again, if you're not visible and that's not pushing some credibility, you'll never be having a profitable relationship with somebody in another place of BNI. So with that, I just it's not really a formula. If you talk to Dr. Meisner, it's not really a visibility plus credibility because it's more of a scale that you work through. But I like to say if we bundle these together, we take visibility and credibility, we can use BNI Connect and all of our websites and the reach of BNI Connect in order to really exponentially grow our profitability and our profitable relationships. So with that, I'm going to get out of BNI of this PowerPoint and let's jump into the system here and take a look at some things. So one of the things that I want to make sure you guys know is that your profile shows up in a whole bunch of places. Okay. So first off, it shows up in BNI Connect, right? So when members search for you, they can see your profile, right? So if I was to go and do this search in BNI Connect, so I'm going to click the magnifying glass and I'm just going to search for myself, right? Jeremy Walsh. And here I am, Jeremy Walsh. And I click on that. This is the profile that I'm sharing, and it is a new updated profile just this year. And it has all of my contact information, all of my roles, all of my testimonials, my contacts, my my category, my training history, all of that stuff I'm sharing here with other members when they find me. And every single member has one of these profiles. Now, you can choose which parts of your profile you want to share. You can kind of lock it down, hide all your personal details, things like that. But your name and profile picture will show up even if you lock down the other information. So that's the inside of BNI Connect, but it also shows up on multiple places outside of BNI Connect, right? So one of those places is if I go back to the home screen here, one of those places is on your regional website. All right. And if you don't know what your regional website is, it is a public website that everybody in the world can see. You can easily get there from the homepage here. Click on regional website. That will take you to your regional website. So I'm going to go regional website here. And I'm in the Rhode Island region, Rhode Island, Southeastern Mass. So our regional website is bniri.com. I'm out there on that website. And if I go to something, I'm going to go to find a member. So find a member, and I'm going to search for myself. Here I am. That's me, Jeremy Walsh. And here is my public profile, right? So we have some videos that I put on my profile. This is that tops part of the bio. The tops part of the bio is the only one that you will see up on the public profile. You don't see the gains, you don't see the bio, you see the tops part of it. And of course, my business description. Click the little dots, you see all your contact information, all your different social media sites. So all of that is available here. Now, it's available also on your country website. So if I go to bniusa.com, there is also a way to find members here. So I could, for example, find a chapter and go and find my chapter and find the roster and the list of members there. I'm going to go to the advanced search here and I'm going to do Wakefield. There it is, BNI Wakefield, Rhode Island. And here's our list of people. Here I am listed as part of the membership committee. And of course, I can click on view profile, takes me to the same, yep, that exact same profile. So it is on two distinct websites. Again, bniamerica.com and my bniri.com. So it also shows up in a couple of more places. All right. So if you have the mobile app, it will show up on the mobile app as well. So here in the mobile app, you can search for people around the world. I click on the search. I see my chapter roster. So all of the people in my chapter have their profile. I can also do a worldwide search, right? And everybody out there. And I'm just going to search for myself again. Here we go. And again, it looks very close to the profile that's out there on the internet. And I have all of my, you can click to call, click to email. By the way, the share button here is where we can share your profile by vCard, or every member has a QR code. As long as your region has a regional website, you have a QR code. Now I know there's a lot of people like Kristen Gear and Leandro who are on this call that are admins that are not part of a chapter. If you're not part of a chapter, or your region doesn't have a public website, then you won't have one of these. All right, so this is just for members. This is a member only benefit. All right, so here's the rest of the information. Now, inside in the mobile app and things like that, I can see the gains profile and tops profile. And you can put a couple of sample weekly presentations up there as well. So, and of course, the testimonials are there also. So how do we update all of this stuff in our profile? It's very easy to do. Oh, wait, I forgot to tell you guys, there's one more place now, and this is just recent, right? So your profile also synchronizes to BNI Plus. So if there's how many guys out there are using BNI Plus in your chapters? It's a great tool for any chapter that runs a PowerPoint presentation. BNI Plus is a great tool for replacing that that PowerPoint presentation. Let me show you guys real quick that the profile also shows up there. So I'm going to log into BNI Plus real quick. So BNI Plus, go to the Americas. I'm going to log in as myself here. Log into my chapter. Right, and this is what most people would see when they log into BNI Plus, right? So this is all the different things. Now, in the chapter roster, right, if I go to my chapter members, all of the members have a profile in this as well. So if I look at my profile here, all of the stuff that I put into BNI Connect automatically syncs over to BNI Plus. And by the way, it syncs every hour. It's actually, so the way it works for those technical people out there, whenever you make a change on BNI Connect, right, it flags your record as having been changed. And then what BNI Plus does is it goes through and it scoops up all of those changes and applies them to BNI Plus. Then it rests for 1 hour and it goes out and it checks again. So, about every hour to 2 hours, all of the information gets updated there. So you'll notice that I can't change any of the stuff here on my profile. It's all grayed out. I can't change the photo. I can't change the logo because all of that gets changed in BNI Connect and then syncs over automatically. All right, so much stuff now. We'll get into that more when we talk about BNI Plus, but so much of it syncs automatically now. All right, so enough about BNI Plus for now. If we go and we look at the at BNI Connect, I find, I'm sitting at a desktop computer all day, every day. I have these big fat sausage fingers. So, trying to fill out my profile on the phone for me isn't great because it's just too hard to type. So with that, here in BNI Connect, if you want to update your profile, click on your name in the upper right-hand corner. Click on My Account. And really, the secret to all of this is just to go into each section and fill out the stuff, right? Go into each section, fill out the stuff. So for example, under personal details, click the edit button and go through each of the tabs and fill out all of the things. Easy peasy. Now, if you, I did see one comment that says from Anna, I don't want my address marked on the website. So if you don't want your address on the website, here's what I recommend doing. Okay, there's a couple of different ways that you can get around that. All right, so one way is to just, what I would put in is um, by appointment only, right? And that way, and still put in your city and your state and your zip code. That way, people will still be able to do searches because the search is in the system, right? So if somebody does a search for, computer guy in Wakefield or in South Kingstown, and I blank this all out, I don't have anything in there, it has nothing to match. It doesn't know where I am because I took my city out, right? So here, the way I would do it is by appointment only, if you want to keep your address hidden. So that's one way to do it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and update that. So that's one way to do it. Now the other way is if we go back to my profile here, up here in the upper right-hand corner, we have the Privacy Center. So if you click on the Privacy Center, this is where you can control your visibility, both out on the internet and in BNI Connect as well. So that's what all these different sections are here. So for example, we have privacy settings. Show me on the BNI public websites, right? So this is where you can say, whether or not you show up on the various websites. Now, this top button here, if checked, the public will be able to search for your services. If I turn this off, right, and then I go back out to my regional website, right, I need to save this. So I just turned off my visibility on the public website. I go back here now, and I go to find a member, and I put my name in. It doesn't find me anymore, right? It finds Jeremy America, it finds Jeremy Nickerson, it finds Jeremy Von Flatern, but it does not find me. That change is immediate, right? There's no synchronization. You don't have to wait if you don't want to be found or you find maybe you're getting spammed or something like that from the site. You can turn that off right away, right? I do want to be found, so I'm going to go ahead and click save. Now, the rest of these in this section on the public website, these all control what you're sharing out there on the public website. So, for example, you have fairly granular access on this one. So you can turn off your phone number, you can turn off your mobile number, your direct number, your toll-free number, allow email messages. So if I go back to my profile here, let me go back and search for Jeremy again. And I should be found now. And there I am. You'll notice that on my profile, there is an envelope. And if I click that envelope, that will allow anybody on the public to send me a message. This is how people get spammed sometimes, because there's some spammers out there that go through all the websites and just start clicking on profiles and sending messages. So anybody in the world can just type in they can even put in a fake email address if they want to. Subject, prove they're not a robot, and type in a message, and that will send me a message to my email. My email is never shared, right? So it's not, your email is not shared publicly or anything like that, but it does allow them to send me a message through the website. Or I can turn that off. If I turn that off and say, you know what? No, I do not want people to email me from my public profile, and click save. Go back out here. You'll notice that this is now grayed out. People cannot click that button anymore and send me anything. All right, so that's that. It's the same thing, member to member profile. You can choose if you want to share your contact details. You can choose to share them with just people you're connected with, which is by default people in your chapter, or you can choose to share it with nobody if you'd like to. So go through these. You can make those changes. Make sure you click save if you've made any changes. Oh, I do want to put that back on. Click save. All right, some other highlights from your profile. If you choose to, I happen to like the old view of the profile better for editing. So you can always choose edit in legacy. And I find it a little quicker to get through some of the settings on here. So this edit in legacy allows me to go through and all the same settings, just the old view of them. If you are a director, by the way, I know we have a lot of directors and admin people on the phone with us today. There is a director profile that allows you to put in different information than what would be in your regular member profile. This is the only place this shows up is if you have a contact us page on the website. So if I go to, let's say, BNI SouthernArizona.com, right? This is a franchise region out there. And if I go to their contact us page, all of their local people have a contact card here. And if they, let's say Todd Combs here, if I click on his profile, this profile that shows up here is his BNI director profile. If we go to his member page, it will show his member profile. Director page shows the director profile. All right, while I'm here, I did see another question come up in the Q&A that says BNI doesn't allow Instagram. And actually, it does. So here's the deal. In the United States, so when BNI Connect first rolled out, each one of these said Facebook, Hotmail, YouTube, Vimeo. It had, we came out with BNI Connect in 2011, and the social media platforms back in 2011, half of them don't exist anymore. And now there's hundreds of other ones that didn't exist back then. So in the US English version of BNI Connect, we took out all of the headers and we just put in link 1, link 2, link 3, and really any hyperlink to any website or online platform can be put into these links. You can put up to 14 of them in there. You want to put Instagram in there? Put Instagram in there. You want LinkedIn, you want Outlook, you want whatever you want, you can put those links in there. One thing I will say, it's just a little trick. I recommend taking out the S and putting in HTTP :/ whatever it is. The reason for that is if you go to this page and I go to my details here, these fave icons, that's what all these little icons are. They're called FAV icons. Sometimes they don't show up unless you take the S out of this link address. And it's a weird thing about how it's in the background fetching that public icon from the other website. So if you find that your little icon isn't showing up correctly here, just take out the S and make it HTTP. All right, so yes, it does allow for Facebook, okay? Or Instagram. All right, the other thing that you'll notice is on your profile. Oh, let me get back to my account. And one other thing you'll notice is that there is a percent completion in here. Once you have everything filled out, it will give you 100% complete. A couple of things to note about that is there are a couple of places where, for example, if I want to go into my bio and edit my bio, some places, for example, in the my bio need more than just like one letter in them. So if I go and do previous types of jobs and remove that and go back to my profile, oh, this one is allowing it. There's I don't remember exactly which fields, but if you say, "Oh, I filled everything out and it's not showing 100% complete," it's probably because you didn't put enough information, especially in one of the places in the bio. All right, so we are at the bottom of the hour or the top of the hour in India. I want to wrap this up here, and then also I'll start going through and answering questions. So for anybody that does need to leave right away, that we're here covering the bulk of the information, but I'm going to start getting into specifics and answering the questions. So again, for those of you that need to leave right away at the bottom of the hour, thank you guys so much for being here. Next Friday, I'm gonna do a quick dive into BNI Academy. BNI Academy should be up and running as of next Monday. So next Friday, we'll take a quick first view of the system and how to do some basic things. All right. So with that, let me start answering some questions. All right. So let's see. We have Hajinder says, "What is the list of topics? What is the link to see them?" So I have a vague list of topics that I showed at the beginning of the PowerPoint presentation. So let me go back to that and show you some of the things that we'll talk about during this series, but I'm not doing them in order, right? So these are just some of the list of topics that we'll talk about. If you want to take a screenshot or something like that, you're more than welcome to do so. Here's some things that we'll talk about. Here's another list of things we'll talk about. And here's some other things that we'll talk about. But again, I'm not going to go in order, partially because there's going to be new stuff that gets introduced throughout the year. For example, we're going to have a release on March 7th. So March 7th, there's going to be a release. And one of the things happening in that release that I'll talk about on March 9th, I believe, is that Monday. So that Monday, one of the things I'm going to talk about is we're going to be adding something in the profile. And in the profile, there's going to be a third field. So you have and I think this is going to address one of the questions that's in the list. Ravi says lots of classifications and categories are outdated. So we're going to be addressing that in the release coming up on March 7th. What you're going to see is you'll have your category, right? So you'll have your industry, you'll have your profession, and then there's going to be a third field called specialty. And you'll be able to explain your profession a little bit more, and that's going to show up on the profiles, up on the public website, things like that. So stay tuned. That is coming, and I'll talk about that again March 9th. But that's also why I'm not listing out all of the topics and putting dates next to them, because it is going to change, I promise. Okay, so that's that. Let's see. Next question. Anne says, does every chapter, even internationally, have a website? Is the profile translated when included internationally? So I'd say probably 90% of the chapters out there and regions out there do have a website. There are some that don't. Again, the easiest way to check to see if you have a website, log into BNI Connect and go to the homepage. If you have a regional website button there and you can click on it, you have a regional website. So that's the easiest way to tell. All right. So Kent says, how do you search for a specific trade or need? So again, searching, click the magnifying glass. The easiest thing to do is, if you want to, click on filter. And if you click on filter, you can use this to just select a specific category. So if I do, like, for example, construction, single house builder, and do search members, these are people that will be just a specific category. So that's the easiest way to find specific categories. Katerina says, so has BNI Plus synchronized with BNI Connect now? Yes. So Katerina, here, let me show you something pretty cool. If you go in BNI Connect, right, click on the question mark in the bottom left-hand corner, and then go to BNI Plus. We do have some help documents up there. One of them is BNI Plus from BNI Connect Sync Schedule. So you'll see here everything, all the things that are now synced with BNI Connect. There are a few things that we are going to be adding in the future. So hopefully that helps. And Brian brings up a good point. One drawback, about BNI Plus, it is not PowerPoint. Okay, it is not PowerPoint. It is a online, basically presentation sharing software. So it doesn't have a lot of the same bells and whistles, but it has a ton of huge advantages over running a PowerPoint. The biggest thing is that you don't have to edit it for member details and member profiles. So when a new member it joins the chapter and fills out their profile in BNI Connect, it is automatically it is automatically updated in BNI Plus. You don't have to do anything. And from a regional perspective, so we talk to our Leandros and our Kristens and our people that are running whole regions, they can establish that presentation, and that presentation is automatically updated for everybody, right? So they don't have to distribute 30 different PowerPoint presentations. So it's an amazing software. I encourage you to check it out. Um, Kavitha says, can we take non-members to training programs? I mean, you're welcome to bring a non-member here. We're not sharing anything that's ultra proprietary. This is an open thing. Maybe it encourages them to become a member. You can't, for other training programs like a member success or things like that, I would check with whoever is running that particular event, whether or not it's appropriate for non-members. So, Mike, in privacy settings, does show my email mean all public or BNI? So, under your privacy center, so let me go back to my privacy center here. So here, show my email to all. This is just internally, right? So that's only in BNI Connect. So when somebody sees my profile, right? So if somebody sees my profile, I go to here. This is what people would see. Go to my account. It shows my email address right here. So that is what we're talking about for that member to member profile. Glenn says director profiles, they only show up in search if they have an associated member record. So the search in BNI Connect will only show the member profile or the main profile. The director profile only shows on the contact us page of the regional website. So it's so that you could have a different public facing profile. Isaac says, what is the difference between BNI Connect and BNI Plus? BNI Connect is our data system. It's where we put everything. It's where we do all our activity. It's our social media system. BNI Plus is our meeting software. So it just helps leadership teams and regions to run the actual chapter meeting. So it's the chapter meeting tool. Brian says, can BNI Plus be changed to accommodate Microsoft Office 365? No, not at this time. It is its own proprietary software. So that might be something they consider in the future, but at this time, it is its own standalone thing. John says, how can I see my current BNI traffic lights score? There was a local site called BNI Traffic Lights, but it's no longer updated. You're going to have to check with your executive director. Traffic lights are still produced externally. The member traffic lights are not visible anywhere inside any of the systems. In the United States, we have a spreadsheet basically that gets distributed. In the UK, they used to have that external website. Now they're doing it through BNI Insights, but that's something that's not available to members. They have to download it, create the the file and then send it out. So unfortunately, that's not. You're going to have to check with your executive director on that one. Sorry. Don says, how can I access this recording? Right now, you can't because BNI Academy is not live yet. So starting next week, hopefully I'll be able to start uploading these to BNI Academy, at which point I will share the link with you guys. Dinesh says, is BNI Plus open for all members? For that one, check with your executive director. We do have it available, I believe, for the world, but they may not have set it up yet for your region and your chapter. So please check with your executive director whether or not it's ready for you guys. Anne says, what does the weekly presentation refer to in the profile? So in your profile, if I go to my bio here, right, and I go to edit my bio and I go to weekly presentations. So these are, so here's the deal, right? We have our weekly chapter meeting and we stand up and we give a weekly presentation. Hi, my name is Jeremy Walsh from the Right Click, blah, blah, blah. Ask for a referral, things like that. Only 37 people a week see that presentation, and that's the 37 people that are in my chapter. This is your opportunity to share what you might share at a weekly chapter meeting with anybody who views your profile. So, recommendation, take a video of yourself giving a weekly presentation, upload it to Facebook or upload it to Vimeo or upload it to YouTube, whatever you want to do, and go grab the iframe code from that site and put it on your profile. That way somebody can see you giving your weekly presentation and you can share it with a much broader audience than just the 15, 25, 35, 105, however many people are in your chapter. Right? So, and by the way, this is where you can embed your profile in the weekly presentation. You can embed a video here in weekly presentations. The only other place that you can embed a video like that is under your professional details. Under the My Business is the other place that you can put a video. And thank you for the assists, Mark and Richard. Let's see. Richard says, can you show how members submit their renewal applications from inside their profile? Sure. The renewal application is right on the homepage. Go to the homepage, click on Renew Now. Once you click on Renew Now, that will bring you in to start the renewal application. I am not going to start a renewal. I am an active live member, so I'm not going to start that renewal, but doing a renewal is as easy as that. Let's see. Mike says, I'm sharing BNI with friends from other states. BNI chapters limit industry members to one each. Is there a way to help a friend search for a chapter easily that they could join? So I find actually the easiest thing to do, go to the Contact Us page of that local website, right? So if you go to that local web page and go to the Contact Us page, right? So I'm going to go here, Contact Us. This person here, Alyssa, she runs my region. She knows every chapter inside and out. So she knows which chapters might be looking for a realtor or might know the chapter where the mortgage broker is on his way out. These are the people that know the most. So you can try looking at rosters and things like that. But I say cut straight to the chase. Talk to the person in charge of the region. They will be able to place you or your friend into a chapter. And I also say this because, yes, we limit people, one person per profession, but there's only 300 professions that are listed in BNI. That means that there is the room for crossover, right? So to give you an example, in my chapter, we had 3 residential real estate agents. That was their category, residential real estate agents in my chapter at the same time. And you say, hey, how could you possibly do that? Isn't that a violation? No, it's not a violation. Those 3 all represented different things in residential real estate, right? One of them only did rentals, right? They only did rentals because we live in a college and a beach town. They did college rentals and beach rentals. The other one only did local sales. So we have a place called it's called South County. It's like this three towns here. They only did this area. The third one also did residential real estate, but we're really close to Connecticut, and they are only licensed in Connecticut, where the other person was in Rhode Island. So as long as the members can work together, there can be interpretations of these categories. Okay, so that's my opinion of that one. All right, let's see. Mahesh says, my request, please add area of city in the search. So thank you for that request. I will pass that on. I'm not a developer. I'm not a programmer. I don't play one on TV, but I will be happy to pass that on to the people that do the development work. Srinivasan says, when we send a connect request normally, how the alert gets notified, we have reminder options. So yeah, that's an area that needs some work. Let me just say it that way. So the connection requests by default only go to this internal alert center right here. So by default, those connection requests only get alerted here, right? Or they go into network connections. I have a lot of connections. So the issue is that some people just don't see the alerts. In order to see the alerts, right, what people have to do is they need to go into their profile, right? So I'm going to go into my portal. Oh, not wrong thing. I'm confusing myself here. Going into my account, going into the privacy center, and see here it says, send a copy of connection requests to my email address. By default, this is off. By default, this is off. So you need to coach people to turn that on. So I'd love to see the default get changed to on, but that's where we stand with that one. Okay. Let's see. Gotham says, what is BNI Business Builder for? BNI Business Builder is for nothing anymore. BNI Business Builder has been retired. It is being replaced with BNI Academy. Mark says, can a director view the privacy settings on BNI Connect for the members that they service? I believe they can. It all depends if you have permissions to their to manage memberships on their profile. If you have those permissions to manage memberships, then you should be able to see all of these areas of the profile. Mahesh says, in search, please add the city. I think that is a repeat. Thank you, Mahesh. You have multiple repeats in there. I'm going to get rid of those for now. Thank you, Mahesh. Mark says, are there any plans to provide the Power of One data as part of the My BNI system? So, Mark, no. The ultimate plan is that the Power of One will be retired at some point, and everybody will be using the global system, which is the member traffic lights in BNI Insights. So eventually, I don't know if that's next month, 6 months, 6 years from now, but the Power of One, as it stands now, will not be incorporated globally. The one that will be incorporated globally is the member traffic lights. All right, so that's that. Pancho says, I made a tutorial to upload videos to your profile. Thank you so much, Pancho. You guys can find that on YouTube. Feel free to drop that into the chat window, Pancho. Yorick says, will it be possible to submit a renewal request via the app? As of now, no, there are no active plans that I know of to do that, but it is definitely on the wish list for the future. Let's see. Saritha says, while submitting a thank you note to cross-chapter members, the amount is not visible in the app. Additionally, when somebody gives us a thank you, that is also not reflected in the app. Correct. So when you do a cross chapter thank you for closed business, let's back up a step, right? What is thank you for closed business, right? Thank you for closed business is a celebration of what somebody has generated for another person, right? So in my chapter, somebody gives me a referral to their mother to buy a new computer. I thank them for providing a referral that generated $1,000 for my business. And on their Palms report, it shows $1,000 under their name in the Palms report, right? So that's because they generated it. And what we're celebrating is the generation of the revenue. Now, if we do that cross chapter, so let's say Mark Hackbarth, who is a great friend from Wisconsin, he refers me to his mother, right? And his mother needs some computer help that I go and I do that remotely. I'm able to help them out and we bill them, $150 for that service. I thank Mark for that. What happens is that shows up in Mark's chapter because it was Mark that generated that revenue. So his chapter gets to celebrate the fact that Mark was an awesome human being and sent me a referral. My chapter doesn't get to celebrate that because we didn't generate that revenue, right? So over the years, I mean, we kind of have mistaken the fact that, we just kind of say, oh, thank you for closed business. That's how much money our chapter made. Well, no, it's not. That's how much money your chapter has produced for other members globally, right? So that may not be equal to the amount of money that people have made in that chapter. So I hope that helps give you some perspective on that one. So that's why a cross chapter does not show up on your statistics. It shows up on their statistics. Joy says, how do I book onto the session on Friday Business Builder? Again, just show up this time next week and we'll talk about Academy. Tava says, how do you find your QR code? The place you find your QR code is in the mobile app. So go into the mobile app, right? Click on yourself. Click on share my profile. Click on share QR code. That is your QR code. That's the easiest way to find it. If you want to find somebody else's QR code, let's say that you are in a meeting and you have a referral for somebody in your chapter. You go to your roster, say, hey, you should call my buddy Eric. Here, tell you what, here's his QR code. Go right to his profile. It'll have his phone number. You can send him a message, all that kind of stuff. Just go check him out here, right? So that's what that is. Let's see. Gotham says, how many power cross chapter one-to-ones can be done in a year? I don't think there's an upper limit on that. You can do as many one-to-ones as you can fit in time. Just make sure that they're meaningful, right? One-to-ones should be sitting down with somebody. You could do it virtually as well, but talking about and sharing details about each other's business. We used to joke a lot of times because some people would um, do the high five one-to-one, where you pass each other in the hallway, give each other a high five, and oh, does that count as a one-to-one? No, it doesn't. There isn't really a time limit on it or anything like that, but it should be a meaningful exchange to hope to increase the visibility and credibility with that other person. Give yourself one CEU for today if you have not done so already. So if I go back home here, I'm going to go to CEUs. I'm going to give myself 1 credit. Confirm. I got 1 credit for today. Russ, would you inform members to ensure their privacy settings members should be set to all? Default settings are for my connections. So I don't have a way to inform everybody of that, but I would love to see the defaults changed. Swamithan says, can I connect with other chapter members? What should they do to accept my connection. So you're automatically connected to your other fellow chapter members. You don't have to do anything. Your other chapter members are added and removed as members join and leave the chapter. It's just other people in the world. If you would like to connect with them, then you send them a connection request. I think I just covered the QR code. Richard asks, what happens if a member has hidden themselves on the public profile or not shown contact info there when you share the QR code? If you hide yourself from the public profile, I believe your QR code goes away. But you know what? Why don't we test that theory? Let's see if we can test that right now. So if I go to my settings, account settings, show my bio, connections, show my picture, email, contact. Do not show me on the public websites. Confirm. Let's see. There you go. That's what I thought happened. Been a while since somebody asked that. So, Richard, thank you so much for reminding me of that one. If they hide themselves from the public, then there is no QR code for them either. I'm going to go in and change that back while I'm thinking of it because I do want to be found on the public websites. Yeah, so that Gotham says, well, that BNI QR code accessed by everyone or only BNI? That is a public QR code. That is a public QR code. Everybody can use it. Where do I add a sentence related to my business on the slide of the weekly presentation? So that one you have to log into BNI Plus. If you're using BNI Plus, you have to log in, and that's one of the few things that you have to put on there manually. Eric says, can we add to the BNI events created in BNI Connect the possibility of defining a number, having them automatically added? So yes, that is a wish list item that we'd love for CEUs to be added automatically, but not at this time. Swelly says, I can only add an out of chapter one-to-one on the desktop. The mobile app does not show the names of other chap. All right, so in the mobile app, if you want to do a cross chapter anything, right? So I go into these one-to-ones, I'm going to add one. If I click in the box, it drops down the list of my chapter member names. If I click the magnifying glass, it allows me to search for the rest of the people in the world. Similarly, if I go into the main website, go back to my home page here, right? And I go into that, go in, I do a one-to-one again, submit a one-to-one, drop down list, search for anybody else in the world. Okay, hope that helps. Fran says, is there a way to see how many members of a chapter have their profile at 100%? No. I would love it if there was a report for that. That would be so helpful for especially directors and area directors and executive directors, but unfortunately, there is not. And the last question I have here on my list today is from Purvey, says, what is BNI Plus? Oh, there's another one. BNI Plus is it's our online meeting management software. So BNI Connect, it connects to BNI Connect for all of its data. And then it allows chapters to run a custom PowerPoint presentation that has live data from BNI Connect, including the profiles, statistics, things like that. Gotham says, what things will be shown after scanning the QR? The public profile. So it is your chapter profile out on the internet, out on your chapter page. That is what shows. So in other words, bniri.com, Wakefield. When somebody clicks my QR code, it's just a link to this page. So the QR code is a link to this page. All right. Why are the sponsor numbers and visitors not shown on the profile? I don't know. They're just not shown on the profile. You can see them if you'd like to, your sponsor and visitor numbers, by running your personal POMS report. So here on the home page, right, you have your My Personal Participation Report, and this will give you your last 1 year history, including all of the people that you sponsored and visitors and things like that. So, but it doesn't show on the profile. All right, that's it. We're at the top of the hour. Thank you guys for being here today. As mentioned, this webinar was recorded and will be, I'll upload it as soon as I can to BNI Academy once it is available. All right, so have a wonderful week. Next week, we are going to take a quick look at BNI Academy and see what we can do in there. All right, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a nice weekend. And as always, happy connecting. Thank you, everyone. Bye.